Well, obviously, the purpose of the roundtable in Lagos is to get stakeholders' views on products that can be developed in the capital market that will enable the government-raised fund for infrastructure. Well, I'm now being joined in the studio by the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Morgan Capital Securities Limited, to look at these issues, and I mean, Mr. Ayoleke Adu. Well, before we do so, let's just take a listen to what the Director General Securities and Exchange Commission and, of course, the Minister of National Planning have to say.
If, as the African Development Bank has shared with us, that over the next 10 years, or starting using 2010 constant prices, starting from 2011 to 2020, that Nigeria needs $350 billion and specifically $35 billion per year in infrastructure. You know that there's such a huge demand on the federal government's budget. We have the tools to support our nation in developing. As you know, SEC's mandate is dual. It's regulation. It's also market development. And everybody realizes the importance of infrastructure to transforming our economy.
The capital market is a very, very important source of funding infrastructure because of the nature of the kind of funding that you can raise in the capital market is much more long-term, which is more akin, suitable for infrastructure financing. So various sources and the pension funds, the public-private partnership which Nigeria has started, we hope that that is going to become much stronger as a result of this infrastructure effort.
Well, those were the Minister of National Planning, Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, and the Director General Securities and Exchange Commission talking about the need to really access long-term funding. And for them, the place to do that is actually the capital market. Well, Mr. Adu, you heard it all. Well, I want to begin by asking you, you are aware of the National Integrated Master Plan. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good place to start from, a 30-year plan. But you see, you can only plan and plan and plan, but you must also have ways of implementing the plan. I think what the SEC is doing is also very good to let everybody be aware that, one, you can access money or funding from the capital market. But I don't really think the problem is money. I think the major problem is attracting funding, making ourselves as a country to be very attractive as an investment destination. When you talk about
attractive funding, how do you mean?
Okay, when you're talking about infrastructure projects, you're talking about projects of 25, 30 years gestation period, projects that require a lot of analysis and risk assessment. And there are, for me, 4 key things which the country needs to look at. Number one, we don't really have very strong institutions and laws. If you look at one of the areas which we are doing very well, the PPP, the privatization, and if you look at the NPA, for instance, the NPA, they are the landlords and also the regulator for the seaports. How do you then attract a new investor to be his own landlord when you have someone that's a landlord as also a regulator? The same thing when you look at FAN, right? And if you look at the roads, who is the regulator for the roads? If an investor were to come into Nigeria now and says, okay, I want to build a 20-kilometer road or a bridge, who is he going to talk to? Who is going to regulate him or her in the business? So building those key regulators and institutions is very, very important. And this goes to also talk to the legislature because the bills have to be passed. I know, for instance, that the BP are working on some bills for the transport sector, aviation sector, and other sectors. But the legislature of Nigeria they need to know that they need to work on these bills very, very fast to ensure it goes. The other thing which we need to work on really very fast is our sovereign rating. Our sovereign rating by S&P is currently about BB plus with a stable outlook. That is below investment grade. Before you can attract funding, you must be above investment grade. That's BB. So we are just a notch below investment grade. I know the CMA is doing a lot of things to plug all loopholes to ensure that our rating improve, but we as a nation must move on that quickly, because there's no how you want to invest in any infrastructure in Nigeria. People are going to ask for what is they're going to do like a rating on the infrastructure, and it's going to be extremely difficult for you to have any rating on any infrastructure in Nigeria that will be better than the rating of the country itself. So, and that leads me to the third issue, which would be the need for federal government guarantees on most, if not all, of the infrastructure projects which we'll be seeing. And getting the federal government guarantee is could be said to be easy, right? But it's a lot much more difficult than that, given our political exigencies in Nigeria. When you look at the issue of the federal character, for instance, would the federal government be giving guarantees to projects that will be located all in Lagos or in Calabar and maybe not in Abuja or any other area? So these are issues that that we must look at.